Hey guys, I'm Mike, and I am a Bible fanatic. Now I got some sad news for y'all. Elaine couldn't be here, so it's just you and me. But that's okay, because you know I love to talk about the Bible. Now, last week we talked about the book of Acts. And in the book of Acts we met a man named Saul. And Saul, he had an encounter with Jesus. Remember that? Now, Saul, he became Paul. And Paul was one of the leaders of the early church. He traveled all over the Roman Empire sharing the good news of Jesus. And when he was unable to travel, he wrote some letters. Smart guy. Now, the first half of Paul's letters were written to churches, and those are the letters we're going to read about today. Now, the first letter is the book of Romans, and it was written to the people of Rome. This was the longest of Paul's letters, and it was written to share God's plan of salvation for the whole world. Now, Rome was a powerful city ruled by an emperor who controlled a mighty army. So, let's give a salute to remember Romans. Now, the next two letters were letters written to the people of Corinth, and they're called 1st and 2nd Corinthians. These letters encourage the new Christians to act like true followers of Christ, avoiding sin and loving one another. For these two books, we'll give a 1-2, and then we'll make a C with our arms to remember 1st and 2nd Corinthians. Now the next letter was a letter to the Galatians. Let's turn that big C into a G to remember the Galatians. This is a wonderful letter in which Paul explains that we are saved not by anything we do, but by faith in Jesus alone. Very important. Now, after the Galatians comes the Ephesians, a letter to the church in Ephesus. Paul talks about many things in this letter, including why kids should obey mom and dad. That's right, you gotta listen to your parents. And also about how we gotta put on the full armor of God. So, let's make a 3-fingered E to remember Ephesians. Now the next letter, one of my favorites. It's the book of Philippians. Now, book of Philippians, we're going to remember it by putting our hands up and down like a flip in Philippians. This letter was written as a letter of thanks and encouragement to a church near and dear to Paul's heart. So remember, flip for Philippians. And finally, we come to the great book of Colossians, which reminds me, one of my favorite games to play on the Wii, Mario Kart, where there's lots of collisions. But no, we're not talking about the book of Collisions. We're talking about the book of Colossians, written to the church in Colossae to correct some wrong beliefs and to put people back on the right path again. Since it's a book about steering people straight, I just love a good pun, don't you? Let's put our hands out like we're steering ourselves down the road to remember Colossians. So, let's review. First, we've got a salute to remember the Romans, then a 1-2, and a C with our arms to remember 1st and 2nd Corinthians. Then turn that great big C into a great big G to remember Galatians. 3-fingered E for the book of Ephesians. Then we're going to flip our hands up and down to remember Philippians. And finally, we're going to steer that car straight to remember the Colossians. You guys are doing such a great job. I hope you're keeping it up, because we're going to celebrate all those kids who learn all 27 books of the New Testament on November 26th. We're going to go, we're going to sing our awesome Books of the Bible song. Mike and Elaine will be there, and you're going to get to finish it all off with some fresh baked cookies and one of my favorite drinks, some hot cocoa. Don't miss it. Make sure you get there. It's a Sunday after Thanksgiving, so you can't forget. Memorize your books and come to church on November 26th. We're going to have fun. It's going to be a hootenanny. It's all found here in the 66 Books of the Bible.